I want to talk about the concept of adjusting the set of the sail. For the last few years, you could have been going down a direction which hasn't allowed you to reap the rewards that you've desired. Maybe it's a direction that's brought you a lot of misery and frustration. And I want you just to picture the analogy of being on a sailing boat and realizing after a while, like, damn, this isn't working out. And I want you to picture just making a slight adjustment to the set of the sail. And instead of going this direction, you now go the other direction. Because we've all heard this saying before. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting different outcomes. There comes a time where you have to make a decision to change things. Another analogy for you. I like analogies. If something is bringing you a lot of pain, you must let go of that thing. If you were to hold on to a hot piece of coal for a long period of time, you will do more damage than someone who just grabbed it for a second and then let go. Human beings, we have pain receptors, right, on our skin. So if we touch a hot surface, immediately our impulse is to back away. But what if you decide just to hold on to the hot piece of coal? I mean, some people have this condition where they're unaware of their pain receptors. It's a very rare condition. I don't know what it's called, actually. Maybe someone watching this would know. And actually, it's quite dangerous for them because they may be experiencing potentially fatal levels of pain, but they're unaware. Anyways, the point is this: if you're holding onto a hot piece of coal for too long, you will do more damage. You will suffer more severe burns than someone who just immediately touched it and then immediately let go. Okay, but going back to the analogy of adjusting the set of the sail, there's a very fine line between failing and giving up and making a new decision and adjusting the way you've been doing things. It's not failure to change the way you've been doing things or deciding to do something different. And I say this especially to those of you who haven't yet figured out what your purpose is. You're trying a lot of things out. Maybe you've given this drop shipping thing a year and 6 months, and you've realized that it hasn't been the most prosperous avenue for you. You've learned a great deal, but it just doesn't align with your strengths, and you believe your strengths lie elsewhere. In that situation, I would say, try something else. Now, a lot of people are held down by the potential backlash of their friends and family who may come to them and say, see, we told you this dropshipper thing wasn't going to work out. And so you don't want to validate them. So you stick to something that isn't working or something that you absolutely dread doing. Now, there is an element of suck it up and get on with it, especially in the early stages, 2 months in. But if you've been doing something for a while, a year and 6 months, and it hasn't really been providing you with the results that you want, it may be a conversation to have with yourself. Is this a line of work that I want to go down? And when I say been doing it for a year and 6 months, I don't mean been fucking around and doing it once a week. There's a very, very big difference between messing about for a while and actually being productive. I always say there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Now, you notice, if you've been messing about, well, then maybe it's time to take it seriously before you consider adjusting the set of the sail. Adjust your work ethic, adjust your productivity, and then have a look at the results. If the results are still not changing, well, then perhaps it's time to have that conversation about whether or not you want to go down this line of work. But I want to make this clear because in my early 20s, I tried a bunch of stuff, and some things I stuck with for a little bit too long because I was worried that people may have said to me, oh, Ali, see, we told you this wasn't going to work out, and I didn't want to give them that victory. That's how I saw it. I saw it as I didn't want to give them the victory of knowing. I didn't want them to say, ha, we told you. I didn't want that. But as I matured, I realized, okay, this is very, very important for me. I need to receive feedback by going out there and trying things. I need to see where my strengths are. It's the same thing when you're crash testing a car. If you've designed a brand new car, you need to know where the weaknesses in the chassis is, in the body. so that you can improve the car and it can meet safety standards. When it comes to you and your potential future, you need to know where your strengths lie. That's very important, and it's very intelligent for someone to go out there and try a bunch of stuff and then decipher, right, my strengths lie more in this area because I tend to find that I excel more when I do this. It's the same thing when it comes to people that want to create content, for example. Some people are better suited to writing content as opposed to creating video content. Maybe they're not as articulate and charismatic as some other people are. Now, it's worth giving it a go. I won't tell you not to try it. Try it, but you may feel like you're just better suited at writing down, your thoughts and creating blogs and articles. That may be where your strength is, and you can make a lot of money doing that as well. Okay, but there's a big difference between quitting and just adjusting the set of the sail. And don't allow people to be like, oh, I told you so, because those people are doing nothing. At least you're doing something. At least you're going out there and learning about yourself, which is what working hard is. You're learning about yourself. If you do nothing, you won't know who you are. I like knowing that I'm better at this area than I am that area. It's good to know that. And so when I get asked questions like, Andy, what do you think of dropshipping? Andy, what do you think of this? Andy, what do you... The answer, it depends. It depends. What I would tell you to do is go out there and try it. And don't be afraid of, in a year's time, saying, you know what, this doesn't quite align with what I want to be doing long term. I feel like my strengths lie elsewhere. And then go out there and try something else. Especially if you're 19, 20, 21, you've got time on your side. There should be no reason as to why you're worried that people may criticize you for changing. People change jobs all the time and no one bats an eyelid. You decide to try a different entrepreneurial career path and all of a sudden everyone's losing their minds. That doesn't make sense to me. Right? Do what's best for you. Don't be afraid of friends and family criticizing you, because it always comes from those doing nothing. If you have an uncle who's successful and has multiple businesses, he may tell you, yeah, go out there, try stuff, learn about yourself. The people that are doing nothing are the ones that have the loudest voices. But the people that are doing really well for themselves will encourage you to work hard and try different things. As long as you're being responsible and you're taking care of your immediate bills, then yeah, change. It's never too late. It really isn't. And every experience teaches you something. It does. Every experience. I've done things that I didn't particularly enjoy at the time, but I learned a great deal from, and I still use the information that I've acquired in those experiences to this day. So adjust the set of the sail. You could end up being in a completely different place by the end of this year that you were last year because of that slight adjustment. And remember, you are the only person who will spend the most amount of time with you for the rest of your life. Some people will share their time with you on this planet, but you've got you for the rest of your life. So you might as well live life the way you want to live it. Not in fear of other people's judgments. Some people are here today, gone tomorrow. You will leave your hometown and move somewhere else. Your childhood friends aren't going to follow you everywhere. Some people will pass away, but you will remain with you until your time comes. So don't live a life that you don't feel brings you fulfillment just because you're terrified of making a switch in case your friends and family criticize you. No. Adjust the set of the sail, go into a different direction and see where that takes you. Life is an adventure. Let the uncertainty of tomorrow excite you. Don't let it terrify you. I learned from those experiences in my early 20s when I was worried about what my dad would think and my mum and my friends. I'm glad I didn't let that get to my head. Otherwise, I would have just done nothing. I don't know who says that quote, but if you want to receive no criticism, do nothing, be nothing. It may have been Jeff Bezos, or I believe so. But yeah, if you want no criticism, well, sit in the corner. Don't do anything exciting. and no one will criticize you. It's those that are going out there creating big moves that are receiving the criticism. All right? Go out there, man. Adjust the set of the sail. Go on another adventure. See where it takes you. With that being said, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. See you in the next one.